on today's Living in Las Vegas. Well, how about something a little different? Today we're going to give you a walking tour of the park. MGM's Promenade, that's in between New York, and the soon-to-be renamed Monte Carlo. Plus, we've got real quick stories, live chat questions, listener email, and of course, have a drink on me. This is a Living in Las Vegas podcast. Let's get walking.
I'm walking. Yes, indeed, I'm talking.
Living in Las Vegas starts now. Yes, it does. Come on, baby.
I'm so excited. Showtime, baby.
It's showtime. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome from Las Vegas, Nevada. That groovy little podcast that gives you a true first-person look into what it's like to call Sin City your home. The Living in Las Vegas podcast. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Oh, incoming. Is that a fighter jet? Oh, good girl photo.
Join me,
And now your host, a man who clearly needs some kind of introduction, otherwise you wouldn't know who he was. Sing it, brother Scotty. Mr. Scott Whitney. Welcome, everybody, to the Living in Las Vegas podcast here on the Vegas Video Network. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. And by the way, congratulations, because you're watching the longest-running podcast. You might be listening as well. I'm agnostic. It doesn't matter how you consume us.
You don't believe in us. You're agnostic.
No, I don't care whether you listen or watch. What's happening is you are consuming the longest-running podcast about Vegas that actually originates from
Las Vegas.
That's right. And by the way, your two hosts here, we've lived here for a combined total of 30.
I'm going back with hundreds of years.
Hundreds of years, which means we're not only going to cover what it's like to live here, nay, but we're going to tell you about our adventures on the Strip, on Fremont Street, downtown, other cool places here in the Valley. And by the way, if you're a visitor, if you're a fan, if you love us, you love Vegas, well, guess what? This show is like your very own secret handshake to all things cool and groovy. We are going to make you the pretty girl at the party. Hey, we're live every Tuesday night, 7 o'clock at VegasVideoNetwork.com/live. It's VegasVideoNetwork.com/live. Join us. Get yourself in the live chat. We got lots of people in the live chat today. The chat is just scrolling through some great people. They've got some great questions. If you're in the live chat, there's a great chance that you will be part of the big show. Hey, I'm your host, Scott Whitney. Konnichiwa, buenas noches. How you doing, hot stuff? Great to have you here. I run the Vegas Video Network and been an online broadcaster for so many decades. But it's not me all by myself. Nope. I do this with a fan. No, he's not a fan. He doesn't like me. He finds me annoying.
Tolerate him.
And somewhat. I'm a distant friend at one point, is what it really comes down to.
As long as you're distance.
But I like him. He's a pretty groovy guy. It's RQS. It's Drinky Pants. It's the managing partner at KSHP Radio. He is the one responsible for bringing the Dodgers to Las Vegas, everybody.
Yeah, forever.
Ever and ever. It's Brett Grant, everybody. There he is.
Hi, everybody. How are you? Good to see you. Welcome to April.
Welcome to
my
April.
Favorite month of the year.
It's the most.
It was my favorite week of sports, but it's actually April's a wonderful month. For you should be excited because it's 1 month closer to 100-degree weather, which you'll get by about 30 to 35 days from now.
Yeah, it's 90 today.
Yeah, it's close. Close for you to jump in the pool.
It's like tickling me.
It's going to be like 73 like 3 days from now.
It's like grabbing my sack and going, go ahead and cough.
Okay.
Well, we're close. Okay, thank you, Doc.
Thanks for the visual.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm here for. This is a visual medium that
you're
we
very
live
good
in,
at
right? Over and under, my brother.
Well, since last week I hit it perfectly on the button. I have to tell you, this is going to be my last show. I've been hired as a new Kreskin, and I have now. I got the ball, the crystal balls. I got them. I got balls all over the place.
I got you some balls.
I got you balls.
Yeah.
So I'm now like I have a gig on the Strip.
Yeah.
Yeah. If people say, "My God, he nailed it like right on the button."
You're like Jimmy the Greek.
Yeah.
Without the arrest.
Without the racist part. Yeah, or being Greek, or being named Jimmy.
Okay, so I'm 0 for 3.
Yeah, but other than that, it's good.
You're just like him.
I'm headlining in wherever, every casino whoever wants me.
Same way he is. Okay, so what's my over and under? God damn it.
Well, last week we hit it on the button, so why should we change it? We know how good we are.
What was it?
89.5.
Okay, 89 and a hook.
Yeah.
We want to say hello, new in the live chat, the most difficult spelled chite nom de bloom I've ever seen in my life.
Huh?
Yeah, it's Mjolnir.
Ew.
MJJOLLNIR. I challenge you to pronounce that.
I don't even see it, so I got to find it first.
Well, maybe if you actually popped up the show notes, you'd see that.
I'd have to scroll up to go see this person.
Luckily, that's
is the person live chatting it? Oh,
he
yeah.
is. That's his Russian name, Mjolnir. His real name is Nate.
Oh.
He comes.
And Nate said hi to me. I didn't even see it. Sorry,
Yeah.
Nate. Hi.
He comes from the Boston. He's been watching Living in Las Vegas for months, both live and on the YouTube. What a lot of people don't know is that when we do our live show, the vast majority of people who are watching right now are not in the live chat.
That's amazing. That's kind of cool.
Isn't it interesting? So,
what are the live chatters? They're just live chatting and not paying attention to what we're doing?
What's that?
Our live chatters aren't watching the show?
Probably not.
That's funny.
Have you ever talked to one of those guys afterwards? Yeah. Hey, what'd you think of the store?
I always wonder why they're kind of off topic a little bit.
What'd you think of the store or the show, Danny? Didn't really see it.
Done what the hell you're talking about.
I just hanging out with with Zoo and Pops and Greg and all these guys. I just kind of want to just hang out with those guys. Anyways, yeah, the vast majority of people who watch us live aren't actually typing in the live chat. What they're doing is they're sitting with a little bit of rum, maybe a whiskey on the rocks, watching it on their TV. Typically, is what goes on.
Awesome.
Isn't that pretty neat?
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Okay, here we go. Let's do this one. Greg watches us in the bathtub.
Oh, thank God for that.
And he's touching himself.
There's you're a man. Last time I checked.
When was the last time you checked?
Well, you just told me.
I missed you. No, the wife's out of town.
Are you a bath guy?
Well,
men in the live chat. Are you bathers or are you showers? I'm not talking about. Hot tub's different. That's
if I'm
not the same.
hungover, I'm a bath guy.
Really?
Yeah.
See, if I'm hungover, I like the shower just pounding on my head.
I will be in a.
I'll stand underneath
I spent a couple hours in a bathtub at Aria once because I was hungover.
Well, you're lucky you didn't drown then.
Well, I had one of those water wings around my.
The water. I had the inner tubes on my arms.
Okay, what are we going to talk about? I'm going to give you guys a walking tour of the park. The park is MGM Resort's new Promenade thing. It opened up yesterday. It is a response to what? Well, we'll talk a little bit about that, but here's what it is. Now, so here's where it's located first and foremost. Where is this thing called the park? It is in between New York, and Monte Carlo.
Right.
Which is what it's called today. They're going to be changing the name of Monte Carlo. Nobody knows what it is.
They are. I did not realize that.
Yep.
Well, the park exists for one reason and one reason only.
Already an opinion. What's going to come? What's your opinion on this?
Well, because of the arena that just opened. That's the only reason why the park exists.
That's one opinion. I have another one.
What?
Yeah, who would have thought that? Okay, so here it is. It's like I said, here's a picture of it on the screen for you guys. It's in between New York, and Monte Carlo. And so let's first talk about how you get there. So the fast way to get there for me, if you're on the west side, is to come under through Frank Sinatra Boulevard.
Correct.
Now, they have a map on their website that says click here for directions, and the directions I think are wrong. It takes you actually onto Las Vegas Boulevard, which makes no sense at all.
No.
So you're coming from the west side, you get on Sinatra, and you're going to come on Park Avenue. So Park Avenue is that street in between New York, and Monte Carlo. So you're going to come up on Park Avenue. Now you've got two options here, and this comes into the whole parking thing that we've talked about.
Whatever. I just see the Monte Carlo, and I see there's a stoplight. Make a left.
Yeah.
I never knew the street was called Park. I have had a lot of people when they come to town who stay at Monte Carlo, like brothers and things.
Yep.
And that's the way I've been doing it ever since you could.
So you can park either at Monte Carlo or you can park at New York. This is an easy one. Right now you want to park at New York because New York is where the park actually is. Okay, so you're going to make a right into the park. And here's the first thing that you see. Remember when they said that they're going to charge for parking? They're ready for it.
Okay.
Kiosks are up. Now, I drove into the self-parking, didn't do any. They don't have valet parking there, by the way, which I would have used. So I go up, into the parking lot, and the parking structure, and I see one of those kiosks, actually two of them. They look the same as you see at 4th Street parking for Fremont Street. You push a little button, ticket comes out, right? So I see this foreign object. I'm like, I wonder what that is. And it was kind of a non sequitur. I'm so not used to seeing those in a parking structure on the strip that I just drove by it. And I saw another one, and I drove by that one too. So I'm driving, and as I'm driving, I'm seeing these signs all over the place.
Stop, you idiot.
That
Pay
says,
for parking.
hey, guy, you really... Oh, did I... Where's that? Oh, son of a bitch. Did I... did I forget my... Oh, I'm going to shoot myself if I forgot that. Stand by. Talk for a minute.
Oh, Scott is doing his best again.
Where is that? There it is. No, there it is. Okay.
You got it?
Yeah, I found it. Okay, good.
Otherwise, I'll answer a live chat question.
Yeah, here it is. Okay, I was like, where is that picture? Okay, here we go. Very good. All right. So I drive up there, and you see this. Now, what they've got, which is pretty cool, is they have those intelligent parking thing now. Remember, they talked about this before. They said, yeah, we're going to do the intelligent parking thing.
It tells you where the spots are.
Yeah, it tells you how many spots are on this level. It's got little lights all over the place. Red light means it's been filled, and green light means go. And I'm like, oh, this is really cool. So, I mean, I'm impressed by that. Now, Cosmopolitan was the first company that did this, and I'm like, oh, I love this stuff. So here I am, and I'm driving along. I'm feeling pretty good about this. And I go, oh, there's an opening, and nope. Oh. I'm like, oh, man, that's a motorcycle. That's not good. So they have a little bit of work to do with the whole functionality
They should do
of
some
the
motorcycle-specific parking.
And that's exactly what I
Just
think.
take one wall and say, here, we could put 25 motorcycles.
That's exactly right.
Right here.
They could absolutely do that. They could do 15, or they could do 5 or 10 per area, per level.
Yeah.
So easy. So yeah, they should do that. That wouldn't take much space, and motorcyclists would love that. So do that. Okay, so like I said before, when you go in there, you see this sign everywhere. Please take your ticket with you. This is everywhere.
And you're saying to yourself, what ticket?
I didn't take a ticket. I think I might have screwed this up, kids. So I'm starting to feel a little
How
paranoid.
did you drive by? Isn't there like a little arm that stops
Well, and
you?
that's the arm was not down, right? So I'm like, I don't see an arm. I'm driving through it.
Right.
But the sign's everywhere. And I'm like, okay, well, how should I feel about that? I mean, I'm not sure if that's going to be a real problem. And then when you get out of your car and you go to, the elevator, you see this sign: take your ticket with you, pay at the stations. Here's where the stations are. You got to do it. I'm like, well, I feel like I might be in real trouble here. So there happened to be an employee sitting there right when I came to that elevator. And so I'm like, hey, a couple of questions. First of all, how do I get to this place? I don't really see, a lot of signs. I went to the elevator and it says the park is back into the parking garage. I'm in the parking garage. I'm not really sure where to go. And the guy goes, oh, well, there's some escalators right there. You're on the second floor. Just go down the escalators, but you can't use them today.
Oh.
How come? We just painted them.
Okay.
Well, okay, fair enough. No problem. I said, well, here's my other question. I see this parking sign thing, and I got to have my ticket, but I don't have a ticket. So what do I do? What's the story with parking here? And you could tell he was a little reluctant to answer. Clearly, the MGM resort folks are a little, punch drunk about this whole parking thing. But he's like, well, we're gonna kind of segment this. We're gonna have parking for New York in this place. We're also gonna have parking for the arena and blah blah. He goes, you know who you should talk to is the senior vice president of marketing. She was just here. I'll call her. I'm like, okay. If you want, if that makes you happy. So, yeah, hi, Julie. I forget her name. I've got Scott Whitney here with the Vegas Video Network. He's got some questions about parking. Could you come on down here? 1 minute later, the senior vice president of marketing is there.
No kidding.
Yeah. So I'm like, well, that's pretty impressive.
She must have been really close, obviously.
Well, she was there 5 minutes before I was there. Okay. So she's running around, clearly managing the launch of the park. So she comes up, and I'm like, hi. And she's like, are you working with our PR people on the story? Like, no.
Not doing a story.
I don't do that as a practice. Well, you need to talk to, and she gave me the name of a PR person. Let me get her on the phone for you. Like, okay, sounds great.
I just want a ticket.
And she's like, it dropped out on me. It might even get in a ring. So she's like 3 or 4 times, and I'm just standing there like, I just wanted to know about the parking. Hold on. So I'm going to call my assistant. Calls the assistant. Assistant picks up. Hey, I need you to connect me with Julie. All right. So, and then they start to talk, and she gets another call. And she's like, oh, I got to take this call. Okay. So she walks away. I'm like, all right. I think that's enough now. So I waited a couple of minutes. I'm like, you know what? I think I'll figure this out by myself. So I walk up to her and go, hey, I appreciate, because they also wanted to show me around the park. I got this. I'm going to go out there. I've got, kind of a time constraint. If you see me, great. Well, we'll keep an eye out for you. Great. Okay. So I go back to the guy, go, well, how do I get there from here? He goes, okay, we'll go into New York, and go down, make a hard turn, and you'll walk right out. When's the last time you were in New York? New York?
Probably a year and a half.
That place, I really like that hotel, that casino. It's a great. I love the vibe of that place, but it's fucking confusing.
A little bit.
It's really. So I go down and I make a right. You can't make a left, so I'm a right.
It's not a big casino. So
that's not big, but there's a lot going on. It's,
Yeah.
it's a whole lot of nooks and crannies and
There
stuff.
are. Yeah, I agree.
So I ended up at the pool, which, by the way, it's pool season, ladies and gentlemen, and I couldn't be happier about that. That makes me absolutely giddy. Yeah.
Except there's way too much. What time of the day was that? Way too much
It
shade.
was right in the morning. It was like
okay.
about 10:30, 11 o'clock in the morning. So I go to the pool and I go to this, the gal working the pool. I'm just like, well, hey, how do I get to the park? She's like, well, I don't think it's open. It's open.
Right.
How do I get there? So clearly they haven't informed all the employees that this big deal is kind of open. Well, if you go out, she goes, if you go back out this way and then go to the Hershey's thing.
Oh, good Lord.
Which is on the fucking strip.
Right.
But I'm so turned around. I'm like, oh, okay, I'll go to the Hershey's thing. So I ended up going to close to the Hershey's thing, which dumped me out, I don't know, 100, 200 yards or 100 yards from the park. What they should have said is go find Zumanity.
Okay.
Because Zumanity has, right next to it, there's an exit, which I didn't know. And if you go out that exit, and watch me, I'm going to run real fast now. Watch this. Go, Scotty, go.
He's huffing and puffing.
That's the magic of video editing. It dumps you right to the park. Pretty neat, right? Okay, but I didn't want to do it from there. I discovered that, by the way, halfway through my tour. That's editing right there. Okay. So instead what I did is I went out on the Hershey area and I went to the corner. So if I bring up the graphic again of the park, I started at that corner that's nearest the bottom of the screen. So
at
on the
strip.
corner of the Strip and Park Avenue, exactly.
Gotcha.
So let's begin our 3-mile tour.
3 miles.
Oh, 3 hour, whatever it is.
Okay.
All right, so here we go. This is the start of it. So the first thing is you'll see these things all over the place. They are everywhere. That's kind of their big thing, I guess.
These will be very hot metal structures in the summer.
I call them Hell's Snow Cones. They don't have an official name, but
those things are going to be like scorching hot in the summer.
So these Hell's...
Hey, lean up against that for a picture. Ah!
these Hell's Snow Cones are pretty much everywhere around this. They're pretty cool. They're huge. But they have lights on the inside, so at nighttime it looks pretty good. But you can see, it's brand new. This is a day old. This is what a day old park looks like. So they've got the kiosk thing. So they're taking as a nod a little bit to the Fremont Street experience, the kiosk things, where as opposed to like at Link, you don't really have those running around. Lots of stone work on the ground. Now, what was interesting about this is as I was walking through here, I kept thinking, man, it is super bright. Lots of sun. Where am I going to go for shade? Very much like you talked about.
Right.
When it gets to 100 degrees, it's going to be rough. So here you see, a umbrella, but there's no umbrella there. No one's going to sit there in the summer. And then they had these really weird aliens. I'm pretty sure those are aliens from, let's go with Mars. And they're everywhere as well. They had this big pebble wall that you see when you first walk in off of the Strip. And I thought, well, let me go check this thing out. You ever been to Universal Studios? Yeah. You ever see that ride where they have the big water flood?
Yeah.
That's what this reminded me of. I'm thinking, okay, when the first big rain comes, this is going to be a problem. And then here you go. Let's say you're an apprentice bricklayer, and your first job is to put those there.
My guess is they're not individually laid.
I thought that too, but I looked and I didn't see a pattern, which is what I would have expected to see. So I didn't see a repeating pattern there. You see, it doesn't have a repeating pattern.
Right.
So I think they actually put those things in individually. Isn't that insane? I touched it though, just because I wanted to touch it.
Making me want to puke.
Okay. It's very Blair Witch-like. Okay, so now we're gonna
fried chicken and waffles.
We're gonna go up and go to our first place. The first place is called Bruxy's, which is the chicken and waffle thing. Now that is lost on me. I don't really get the concept of that.
It's a Southern African American Southern delicacy.
Have you ever had that?
I have.
Do you like it?
It's unusual. And if you go to a Southern rib place, they've got them. Literally,
Well,
it's
there's
waffles.
There's a place.
and
Waffle.
fried
No,
chicken.
There's another place that's really big.
Well, TC's Rib Crib has them, and
There's a place at the Plaza Hotel that has it. It's a real big name place. Anyways,
yeah.
I mean, like, okay, I get it. I guess that's kind of the thing.
Well, it's just it's unusual.
What they do is they make everything from scratch, including their soda.
There's soda.
Yeah, they said even our cola is from scratch. Okay, so we keep moving on here. Oh my God, it's another Hell's snow cone. They're everywhere. Now, across the street, we'll talk about that in a second. I think that's going to be critical.
Now, you said this is at what time of the day?
About 11 o'clock.
Okay, so I'm looking at the shade patterns, and
Yep.
obviously at
Great.
4 or 5 o'clock, the sun's going to be right over the top of that T-Mobile Arena.
Actually,
The buildings are going to throw some shade around.
they're going to be okay here. Actually, it's a great point. So this is it's facing in the north, right? So the sun goes east to west. It's facing north. It's a very good place for them, actually. So they're not going to get the east-west sun that.
Well, that direction you're walking right there is directly west.
I'm walking directly west. That's right. And so,
You're walking
and the
right
sun,
into the sun. You
yeah,
will be.
well, I will, but the.
Go back to the picture.
No, you're right. No, you're right. You're right.
Yeah.
Good point.
I mean, the arena is the farthest west thing there.
Yeah.
So you're looking right at it, because Monte Carlo's to the right.
You're right.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be the sun's going to be beating on that right there, but there's going to be enough buildings to provide some
Yeah,
shade.
I think it's going to be okay. Yeah. I think if it was perpendicular to the sun, that'd be more of a problem.
Yeah.
I think.
And most of the events, let's face it, most of the events that'll be happen around 7 p.m. to 8 p.m.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So there's some more of those hell snow cones. They spent a boatload. Those are from the Netherlands, by the way.
Yeah, they could have kept them.
Because when you.
Is it from the red light district of Amsterdam?
That's funny. All right, so now we're going to continue on. We've gone through our waffles. Here's that entrance I was telling you about that comes right out of New York, New York.
Now, yeah, stop right there. What are they building across the
I'll talk
road
about
there?
that in 2 seconds.
Okay, all right.
But good question.
Because I drove by that about a week and a half ago. I wonder what that's going to be.
Yeah, it's super important, I think, to the way this thing plays out. So the next place is the beer house. Look at this picture of this guy. Isn't that hysterical?
That's funny.
I love that. So there's a guy, it's a big giant beer tap on a wall, and the guy's underneath it with his head back, pretending to drink it. That's the funniest picture I saw.
Now, a really cool idea would be in the summer, you make that
real, like water.
And it
Yeah, for
becomes a
kids.
waterfall for the kids to have some fun. Or
That's what you want the kids to
even
do, is be
drunk
underneath
adults
it.
to like cool off.
So the next place up is the beer house. So lots of beer here. Here's where they did something very good. As a matter of fact, when I came up to this menu that you're going to see on the other side, some gal next to me says, "Isn't this a place with 100 different beers on tap?" I'm not sure if it's 100 beers, but they've got, as you can see right there, a ton of beers. Right. Here's the best part of the beers, though, is that these guys understand the concept of happy hour. So they do a $4 a beer happy hour from 2 to 6, probably one of the cheapest beers at an establishment in Las Vegas. So I dig that about them. They also have live music at 8 o'clock at night, so I think that's pretty groovy as well. So we continue on our trip down the park.
Okay.
Okay.
Beer house.
The beer house. Now, you asked, what's that thing across the street?
Yeah.
So, before we do that, the beer house is also
yeah,
the kind of place
the
to hang
cornhole.
out. First of all, let me just show you my cornhole skills. Here we go. He fires.
Just a bit outside.
That was a little outside. Here we go. Try it again. Oh, that was very nice. So they have cornhole. They have a couple games that you can see on these tables. So they have the bench, the bench seating out there, the picnic table kind of, the German picnic table kind of thing, kind of like Oktoberfest, I would say. A lot of brick, kind of cool looking, but it looks like a lot of the other kind of beery, pubby kind of things that you'll normally see around town. So nothing. This is the interesting thing to me. So this is called. Let me just get to it. Excuse me. This is the Park Theater.
Oh.
So we don't have enough places to watch live stuff.
Wow.
So you've got 20,000 people at T-Mobile, which I'll show you a picture of in a minute. This is the Park Theater. This will hold 5,000 people. The idea behind this, though, is that you can also change the configuration of the bowl. So think of it as if it were concentric bowls.
Okay.
And what ends up happening is if it's a smaller venue or a smaller act, they can block off different bowls. So it looks like a more intimate vibe. That's the intent of it.
Cool.
Because of that, they're removing a bunch of different acts to make room for that. But I think this is important to them. The problem with this right now is that it's wide open to the street, so you don't have that kind of this is an event-y kind of place. I think this park theater will help close in the vibe. Right. It'll finish the vibe. Because right now it just seems like it's brand new, and it's not quite finished yet, and it's not. I think once they get this thing finished up, it'll look a little bit more complete together, like has more of a theme. Now, as you keep going here, the next place they have is California Pizza Kitchen. Now, this is, there's 1,000 of those things in California and here in Las Vegas. I will tell you, though, this was the most impressive facade in the entire The Park area. Really like the front of this.
You like the garage doors?
Love that look. Yeah. Great looking bar. I promise you, take a good look at that. There will be a time where that becomes a have a drink on me. Really, really cool looking. By the way, this California Pizza Kitchen has 20 unique food offerings that no other CPK has. So this is kind of a big deal for these guys. I thought this was really pretty cool. All right, so we're going to continue on. Right next to it is a place called Saki Rock, I'm assuming is what R-O-K means. This is a new place, never heard of it before, Japanese food, but the servers are also entertainers.
Oh.
Yeah, so sake bombs, dance parties, a little bit of lip syncing. You're going to get involved in this kind of deal, which is exactly what you want to do when you're drinking sake bombs. Have you ever had a sake bomb?
I've drank enough sake at times, but
they are horrible.
Not sure what the bomb part is.
You drop it's like
into a beer?
Yeah.
It's like a Boilermaker. Okay.
So, yeah.
All right, gotcha.
Okay, so now we're coming towards the end of the park.
And we got a naked lady.
This big sculpture is another kind of big deal. They actually give it its own thing on the legend all around the park.
Her breasts don't match. I'm just saying.
Her breasts. Yeah, they do.
Not really.
What are you talking about?
No.
Yeah,
the one on there on the right.
Those are beautiful breasts.
The left one looks a little different than the one on the right.
Oh, my God. Those are lovely breasts.
Look.
I'm looking.
Well, could you get a little closer?
I'm going to get real close. Watch this.
Good God.
Boom. Right on top of it. So that is called Bliss Dance. It is 40 feet tall. And this is not the original version. I mean, I should say, this is not its original installation.
No.
It used to live in San Francisco at Treasure Island. So they cleaned it up, moved it over here.
His name is Steve.
And now he's Steve, right. But look at it up close. You can see it's pretty interesting inside there. A bunch of metal stuff. There's lights inside of that guy, or that gal, that guy as well. And this is basically the end of what's going on with the exception of outside of the park. So, again, by the way, here's another example of lots of sunshine, not a lot of umbrellas to cool people off. When it gets to be 100 degrees, I think that's going to be a bit of a challenge.
This will become a very happening area
at night
when events are going on at T-Mobile.
Yep.
So you get big crowds down there meeting early when you have a 7:30 game or a concert.
Yep.
Meet for dinner, meet for cocktails beforehand. But as you can see, there's not a lot of those structures around for parking.
Yeah, so the next place that you get to is called Toshiba Plaza. Not much on their website about what this is. This is an open-air place. It looks like it's configured for live music. So if I scroll back on this video just a hair, you'll see they're building a stage right over there, right where the A is. And if I scroll over here, you'll see like there's a Budweiser trucky thing. Over there is another stage. So they've got 2 live stages they're putting in right now. For, I'm assuming, live music. Oh, remember those escalators I talked about?
Yeah.
That's them right there. So you can see that's coming out of the New York parking garage, the self-parking garage, coming off the second floor. It dumps you right at the arena.
Perfect.
So perfect location, easily.
But the question is, how many spots are going to be available on event days, game days, to be able to, and how many spots does that particular garage even hold?
And if you look, they have a
or
separate...
will that be for example, as a hockey fan, when the hockey team comes, will there be preferred parking for season ticket holders?
I expect they will be.
There better be.
The guy I talked to implied that there's going to be separated parking for T-Mobile things and for New York things, for example.
Okay.
So that's kind of implied. There's a website dedicated to just parking. And they're saying, like, you can park at New York. Clearly, that's going to be the premier place to park. Monte Carlo is the second place. Then they suggest Aria. Then they suggest MGM.
Right.
Then they suggest. I mean, they're going way the hell down there.
Oh yeah, Park at the Bellagio.
Yeah, the article I read is like, well, why didn't they say the convention center? Like, what? All right, they get
Take the train down.
I guess, but who's going to want to do that? I certainly am not. And then once you look at that, you finally get to look at the big and bad and groovy T-Mobile Arena, which is pretty impressive. 20,000 folks. The Killers play tomorrow. It's the first live show along with Mr. Wayne Newton.
Actually, there was a private event with Martina McBride.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, so a lot of people got a chance to get a sneak peek.
Oh, that's cool.
Sneak peek at it. It's got some really cool features inside there. Lots of bars, open air bars, things like that, where there's going to be some cool spots to go and enjoy whatever you do. I'm just looking forward to the hockey part coming, which would be, hopefully there'll be an announcement in the next 60 days that Vegas has been awarded a team, and they'll play starting in the fall of 2017.
So let's talk a little bit about the whole vibe of this. First of all, I think I'm surprised they called it this. There's definitely potential for confusion. So anybody who's spending any time in Las Vegas knows there's a place called the Park on Fremont. And it's been there for years and years and years. It's one of the first places in East Fremont that's done very, very well. If you start typing the Park in Google, both of these guys come up. So in the trademark world, there is a couple tests to decide whether you can have a trademark or not. And one of them is there a potential for, well, first of all, are they similar businesses?
Right.
Clearly they are. Now, the Park on Fremont is a restaurant, bar, outdoor dining kind of place. So it's not exactly like that, but it's similar. So it's clearly similar. The second is there possibility for confusion in the marketplace? Clearly.
Yeah.
There's no, I guarantee you somebody will be thinking they're going to be going to the Park on Fremont and they're going to end up here, and vice versa. I promise you that will happen. So and then the next test is first use. Who has used the term first? So again, Fremont could easily argue we were the first people to call ourselves the Park.
Right.
What the fuck are you doing?
It's hard. It's hard to also get a trademark on a common word like park. Mm-hmm. It's not like you call it the parquet.
Yeah, it depends on how you do that.
The funny thing is for MGM, what's everybody bitching about with regards to the MGM? Parking.
Yeah, right.
So why the fuck would they call it the park?
It's an interesting.
Call it the opposite. Call it the walk.
I think the park. Yeah, I think so. I am sensitive to people who steal other people's ideas. Yeah. I think that's kind of bullshit.
Well, they have deeper pockets.
Yeah, so I just think that's kind of. I think they could have done. I think the park is a little lazy. I think they could have done something more beyond that. But I think there's more to it. Is it park-like? So as I was walking down there, the whole time I kept thinking, man, it is sunny, which is good, but in the summertime, that's going to be a real problem for folks.
Plus, it's obviously the heat's going to radiate off the concrete and off the asphalt. It's not going to be 105. It's going to be about 130.
That's right, and that's interesting. So as I walked through there, I felt very exposed. Now, when I watched that video back this afternoon, I thought, you know what? There's much more trees than I thought. I didn't sense as many trees as I was, going through and thinking about, okay, that's interesting. I should talk about that. So there's more trees than I thought. I will give it that. But you nailed it. There is a ton of concrete and bricks and rocks and hard, reflective, bright surfaces that creates this bright kind of urban environment as opposed to park-like. What is not there is grass.
Right.
There's no grass anywhere. Now, you're not allowed to plant grass. Right. Fake grass would be fine.
Right.
There's a couple.
You could put some large canopies from place to place, spanning from.
Yeah.
But one of my things, if you think of the original one of those really in town, is Town Square.
Yeah.
Which has all the shops, has all the restaurants, has lots of things to do. You go down to Town Square in the summer, in the middle of the afternoon, it's the hottest place on the planet. Yeah. It's just hot. Yeah. And you're like, oh my God, I'm literally on the equator right now.
Well, you look at Town Square; it's a great example. There's this big grassy area,
which is turf.
Yeah. But it cools the vibe of the place.
Right.
The grass might even be hot, but it's visually cooler looking than all this reflective concrete and rock and cement or whichever it is, concrete or cement. I always forget.
Concrete.
So I'm surprised they didn't do the grass. Like I said, they had a couple water features. I think it could be warmer. And like I said, if you compare it to the Link, which clearly,
pretty similar concept.
There's no way I know, but it feels like this is in response to the Link. because they both they promenade kind of thing.
I understand what you're referring to, but the link is more. This is specifically what do we do with the area after we get the arena built?
Yeah.
What are we going to put here so people can congregate? So that's what they came up with.
So if that's true,
no, there's no question. This would not be happening if it wasn't for that arena.
I don't doubt it.
Right. It wouldn't.
Okay,
It wouldn't be.
I will concede that to you.
Okay.
In that, if that's the case, that's too bad. In that, it feels okay. Let me back up. So when you look at the link, now I didn't walk down the link the second day it was open. It didn't have the same kind of vibe.
Right.
But today, it's ensconced. In other words, you've got things on both sides of you. You are in link is an event. It's a thing. It's an attraction.
It's a walking
feature.
mall, whatever.
Yeah. But it's cool. It's got it's a nice, and it's got the big high roller thing, which
It's
is
a little uphill too, by the way.
fair enough. But here's the deal. But it's different versus the park, which is exposed on the north side. And like I said, once they get that theater built in, I think it'll make that a bit more enclosed like. But it's a street there. It's Park Avenue. So they can never really put anything there but those little kiosks, which aren't great. So I think the vibe will always be a little cooler, as in not groovy, but chillier than what the link is doing. Now, personally, I hope it kicks ass.
Well, the problem there is you can't close that street off because it's how you get to two places, not just the Monte Carlo and their valet and everything else goes on the valet, but also the parking garages at the Aria. That's how you get to the self-parking at the Aria as well.
Yeah. No, yeah. They've got
Stuff.
issues. Which do I feel is better, Scott? This is from the live chat. I think Link is better.
Well, I think we got to give this one a little bit of time. So,
yeah,
I would tell you to save your judgment for when you first go to an event at the T-Mobile Arena. Yeah. So the first concert you go see, or game, or event, whatever, then come back and let's assess it.
I think that's fair. But I think, like for instance, I like the idea of being ensconced. I like
having room.
See, isn't that weird?
Yeah, I don't like being.
So you might.
I don't like people.
Yeah, that's right. You don't like people. Oh, by the way, Disney called. They want to give you a pass.
Screw them. I'm going to give them a pass.
So maybe,
no thanks.
So you should go down
give it
there.
to you.
I'd like for you to go down there without an event and tell me how you feel, because the vast majority of people who go there are not going to be at the event.
No, that's
they're going to be there because
right now there's casual folks.
They're pitching the crap out of this, so they want people to go just to go. That's why I think they may be. I will concede that they probably built this because of the arena, but they've really positioned it as this isn't about the arena. This is about the park.
I can guarantee you those restaurants. They're hoping for those 200 plus dates
20,
a year.
Yeah.
But, those 200 dates that are filling that arena, that's 2 out of every 3 days. Yeah. They want that thing filled because that's 20,000 people that potentially can come over to the beer house and slam down some burgers and beers and whatever.
You might be right.
And have a sake bomb.
So let's hope that it continues to. By the way, congratulations on building it, and I hope it's a big success. I would like more shade, more grass. And more things on the north side, so I feel ensconced. Fuck Brett.
You're really firmly ensconced around people.
He doesn't know.
What's going to be hotter than what?
All right, and shade, more shade. This is the Living in Las Vegas podcast on the Vegas Video Network. We'll be right back. This episode of Living in Las Vegas is brought to you by the Vegas Video Co-op. Because your online presence is often your only chance to begin a meaningful sales conversation, please take a moment and visit VegasVideoCoop.com. Highlight your business, start a talk show, or unleash your genius for a low monthly fee. Use promo code LILV for a special discount to our viewers and listeners. That's VegasVideoCoop.com.
Do it. Yes.
I'm really into this new metal band from Japan called Baby Metal. I think that's what they're called, or Sugar Metal or something. There's these 3 little Japanese girls just thinking this poppy melodic stuff on top of the hardest metal music you've ever seen. It is hysterical.
Nice.
Just But the band, oh, man, they're awesome. Okay, it's time for listener email. This is the part where we answer your emails. If a female sends that email question to us, then Brett will read it. If it's a male, I'll read it. And if you want to send an email to us and have us answer your questions, you're going to send it to onairq@livinginlv.com. Again, onairq@livinginlv.com. Here's the best part about it. We're going to answer every question that you have, and if we don't know, well, hell, we'll make it up. This question actually came from our live chat. If you look at our website, there's a little thing in the bottom that says you can click to leave a message.
Right.
And she used that thing instead of the on-air cue, which is pretty clever. Right. This is from Paula, right where the arrow is at the bottom.
Hey, Paula. She says, hi, Scott and Brett. If you don't live in Las Vegas, what is the one show you'd be sure to see during a vacation? Love the show. Thanks for sharing it with your fans.
You're welcome.
From the Paula. I would say, to me, LiLV would be the show that you have to see in Las Vegas, because I don't believe LiLV is at other places where you can see it.
No, well, none of the shows that are here are anywhere else.
I mean, like Jersey Boys. People can see it on Broadway, that kind of stuff.
I'm sorry.
So I'd say LiLV at the Mirage. It doesn't matter if you love the Beatles or not, because the show's fabulous.
That's a great show.
That's my choice.
Hard to argue with that. That's the show that when I saw for the very first time, I was affected by it for days afterwards.
A lot going on.
As in, wow, this is... And I'd seen 20 Cirque shows prior to that, both in California and here in Vegas, and I'm like, wow, this is the most amazing show I've ever seen. Unbelievable that humans did this. Two things. A, happy to be a human. Happy to be part of that group, because, humans did that. B, I suck. I have got to work harder.
I can't do anything. Yes.
What the hell am I doing? And that's actually one of the things that motivated the Vegas Video Network. I'm like, I got to get off my ass and do something instead of just working, in my home office doing, podcasting. I'm like, I got to go big. So the Vegas Video Network, you can blame Cirque du Soleil on that.
That's funny.
I have got to do more
blame
stuff.
LiLV.
So LiLV is great. I also would say Absinthe is the other show that I would really recommend. It's easily the funniest, dirtiest, talented. I mean, it's kind of like Cirque du Soleil meets a naughty vaudeville meets drinking.
Okay,
it's what it is. Have you seen it?
I have not.
Really?
I've heard everybody that's seen it has liked it. Yes.
Oh, it's such a great show. And what's great about that show is it was meant to be like a 6-week, 8-week kind of thing in a tent outside of Caesars. It's been there for 5 years.
Right.
5 years. So
like, it's cold out in the tent. Can we come inside now, please?
Can we have a structure?
Exactly.
Can we have hard walls? No. You will stay. We'll give you a bigger tent.
That's part of your vibe, guys.
We'll give you a bigger tent, but you're staying out there. Yeah. You're at the parking lot at Caesars.
You're going to poop on the carpet.
Quit bitching. Now, they have changed it. In the beginning at the Absinthe, they used to have it where they had like acts and people walking around outside of the tent as you were mingling around, ready to go in, at the bars or whatever, which I really liked. And they stopped doing that. I don't know why. That's the only thing that really disappoints me about that. But I think Brett's right. LiLV, cannot go wrong with that. Absinthe, it depends. Now, if you are easily offended, do not, under any circumstance, go see Absinthe. Okay. Because they will.
So if you are a 20-year-old college student
or
who gets easily offended.
Yeah, don't go. If you're a Mormon, that's not the place you should go.
All right, fair enough.
Or if you're any kind of, actually, I mean, we have a good friend who is not a Mormon. Or
Danny brings up a good point.
What's that? If someone was easily offended, they would not be watching this show. Right. So, well, maybe.
That's true.
Can't argue with the logic that is.
That's a good point, Danny.
Well done.
One for you.
So there you go. Ding. Absinthe, and we've got LiLV. Okay, real quick stories. First of all, if you're an owner of a company, do you ever get, let me ask you this. Do you get many emails from recruiters offering you jobs?
Yeah, occasionally.
Yeah.
Me personally, I mean, yeah.
But not very many.
No.
Not because you're the founder or the owner or whatever.
Right.
Same with me. Normally, so LinkedIn is a great place to go to find people to hire. And, as you may know, my wife is a recruiter. Or a director of recruiters now, and LinkedIn is a great place to go find people. So I get get an email. And I don't get a lot of those because, it says very clearly, I found Podworks. I found the Vegas Video Network.
Right.
I'm not really looking for a job.
Right.
When I was the director of marketing at Compaq, I got those calls. I don't get those calls much anymore. I get an email from a guy. Melissa and I talk about recruiting techniques every once in a while because she's in that business. And, and a lot of these people are idiots. Hi, Scott.
Oh,
This
hi.
is from, I'm actually going to leave his name out. But his name, which is an odd name, is also the name of the company. It'd be like me calling my company Scott Whitney. What company do you work for? No, not Inc. Just, I work for Scott Whitney.
Okay.
Well, fair enough. Okay, here we go. Here's what he writes. Hi, Scott. I'm an executive recruiter, and currently I'm working on some CEO positions in the area. Since you are in the online publishing industry, I am reaching out to you to see if you know anyone who might be open to new opportunities. If you do, please pass my information along and have them send me their resume, and we'll go from there. Okay.
So you want me to do your work for you, you stupid fook. Like I don't have enough shit on my plate already. I'm now recruiting people for some guy I don't know for jobs I don't know about. Yeah.
That's exactly what I'm like, oh my God. I read it a couple of times. I'm like, there's no possible way he wrote what I read.
Right.
Because that's the dumbest fucking email I've ever seen in my life. Let me read it again. Oh, yeah. Since you're in online publishing, well,
Not quite.
I'm actually online broadcasting. I got part of it right online.
Right.
Let it go, Mr. D. And I'm reaching.
dunce.
So I'm going to go out and reach out to you.
Yeah.
How's that conversation go? Hey, Brett, I'm not sure if you're looking for a job.
Yeah.
You should. And here's why.
Because I got a savvy
Have
guy.
I got a guy for you?
Yeah.
He is looking for online publishers, which I know you are.
Not.
Kind of.
Sort of.
And he wants to talk to you about a CEO position. What job is that?
How much does it pay, Scott?
What
are the benefits?
Great
Is
question.
it in Las Vegas?
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Those are good questions. Yeah. I failed to ask those questions.
Oh, shit.
Would you, do you still want to be friends? No. Well, of course you don't want to be friends because I'm an idiot. Kind of fucking retard. Okay, so I wrote him back.
Oh, you did?
Of course I did.
That's awesome.
Like-
you have too much time in the day.
Hey. Well,
I hope you were as much of a smartass as we just
Well,
were.
I said, hey, thanks for the email. Before I reach out to my network of people, I'd have to know a little bit more. What can you tell me?
Okay.
Crickets? Cricket?
Nothing.
Cricket? No.
So just spam.
Or he's used to working with people who are what's the word I'm looking for?
Idiots.
Dumbasses.
Okay.
Right. Okay, I'm only going to say this one time real quick. VVN has now begun negotiations for cable and over-the-air distribution of our stuff. There you go. Chat potpourri. Let's continue.
We can't ask a follow-up question to that?
Nope.
Okay. Off the air after the show?
Sure.
Okay. Will you answer it?
Yeah.
All right.
Big things are in the works for the Vegas Video Network and their people. Okay.
Am I one of your people?
You're goddamn right you
All
are.
right, cool.
You're one of my favorite people.
Awesome.
I don't care what I've said about you in the past.
I've been hearing a lot.
It's a lie. I'm not to be trusted. Everybody knows that. Look at him. He did two shows based upon lying.
That was a good one, though.
I really liked it a lot.
Yeah, that was a good one.
I've gone back and watched that one.
Have you?
It was hysterical what I did there. Okay, actually quite a few chat potpourri questions. This is a part of the show where we have the chat ask us questions. These people are now part of the show. We are answering to them.
All right. Let's
How's
answer
that?
that. Sounds good.
Jimmy's like, you got to answer me right now. Okay, here's what Jimmy says. Jimmy 2Gs writes, have you got to know any of the celebrities or guests personally after filming a show like Talk Tales? I've corresponded with a couple people afterwards. Mary Wilson. Who else? Rich Little a couple times.
Yeah.
Robin Leach. Every once in a while, Robin Leach will send me an email about stuff. So a little bit, not a lot. But I will tell you this story. The reason why we did a show a while ago called quite about a year, 2 years now, called FSC Live. It was 10 live shows we did on Fremont Street Experience Live. 4 cameras, confidence monitors, incredibly complex show. Here's how that show happened. On Awkward Silence, we had a guest. You may have heard of him, Andrew Dice Clay.
Okay.
So he comes in, and he came in late. We were doing a live show. He came in as we started. I'm like, we got to go. I don't care. Start time's 3 o'clock. Go. And so a guy named Gooch, Brandon Hahn, was our host at the time, and he's like going and doing his opening stuff. Dice comes walking in. I mic him up. I've never met him. Hey, Dice, how you doing? Put the mic on. Go ahead and sit right there. Here we go. And he came in, and he was great. He knocked the place out. It was just great. One of the nicest guys you'll ever meet. Super nice guy. Yeah. Super friendly. Really complimentary. Wow, this is really cool what you're doing here. I don't do a great, Dice. And so he leaves, and I'm like, well, that was a really pretty exciting experience for me. He goes off and tells one of his
Dickory Duck.
Tells one of his comedian buddies who's here in town. That guy tells a guy who was running the Royal House, which is the hotel that used to be that was next to our studio. I meet that guy, a guy named Rob O'Neill, and we start talking. We really hit it off. We become friends. He introduces me to Jeff Victor over at Vegas, or at the Fremont Street Experience. They've been looking to do a show. We get to talking. So it's because of Andrew Dice Clay that I met Jeff Victor, who eventually helped us get that deal over at Fremont Street. So that was a pretty cool deal. I met one of my comedian heroes, as a matter of fact. It was the amazing Jonathan.
Oh.
He was a guest on Awkward Silence, and he ended up doing a couple of shows, a thing called Burn Unit on the network, which was interesting.
Great.
That was one of the examples where I think it would have been better if I had not met him. Yeah. So yeah, well, it's a pretty small community here. I'm sure you've met a lot of super famous people being in the radio.
I have, and from most of the people I get excited about meeting, and I've met Rich Little, I should say, and Marty Allen was at our studios about a month or so ago, or a little longer. I get excited about the athletes because of the guys that I get. It's funny because we have. George Wallace comes in the studio, and people like that come in and do shows.
I met George. He was great.
Yeah, but when Sugar Ray Leonard walked in, I'm like, hey, Sugar Ray Leonard.
Yeah, right.
I got to meet a lot of NBA guys because of the basketball show that I've done, and baseball players, and played hockey with a few guys who were former NHL hockey players. They're the real, salt of the earth kind of guys. They're great guys.
My favorite comedian, my favorite celebrity I met. Well, the most impressive celebrity I met was the Hick comedian group. What was it? What are they called? The blue collar
guys.
What were they?
Jeff Foxworthy and those guys.
What was the other one?
What's his name?
Jeff Foxworthy, not Larry the Cable Guy. Who's the other guy?
The skinnier guy.
Not the skinny guy.
No, that's Jeff.
Not skinny. Bill Engvall.
Yeah, Bill.
Thank you, Danny. So I met him.
Engvall, yes.
He's guest.
Very funny.
He was a guest on a show called Golf and Other Four-Letter Words, which, by the way, was the greatest title for a show I've ever come up with. Actually, Awkward Silence is pretty good. No, Top of the Food Chain. I've actually come up with some pretty cool names. He comes in to do this show. I don't know how we got him. He comes in by himself. No entourage, cup of coffee. Couldn't have been nicer.
Right.
Amazing guy. Super
very
friendly.
Guy. Very funny guy, too.
Funny as hell. But I was more impressed with how this guy was monstrous. He was huge. He was actually that night or night before, later, and we got to see him, was at Mirage, at the Aces of Comedy touring thing that they had for a while. And we got to go backstage and meet him. I mean, it was just, this guy was amazing. Whereas I met another comedian who was just a prick, and he was no longer a big deal. As welcome, Mr. Cooper, the black guy.
Yeah.
I forget his name, his real name, but
something.
Mark. Yeah. Holy shit!
Hanging with Mr. Cooper.
That's it. Hanging with Mr. Cooper. This guy thought he was the fucking coolest guy in the room. He was as cool as the backside of the pillow. No, not really. Mm-hmm. I've seen it all. I've done it all. Yeah, I understand. I don't need your direction. I've got it figured out. I'm like, oh, okay, big fella, you go. And when the camera came on and we started doing, he was Mr. Funny and the minute the camera's up, he's like, yeah, I got it. Oh my God. Same with Gilbert Gottfried.
Really?
Met him. He's like, that loud guy? Nope. Super quiet, kind of off-put kind of dude. I'm like, wow, this is.
Yeah, I can see that being different.
Awkward Silence was such a weird idea for me because I really that was one of my very first ideas for a show because I love comedians. I dig that vibe. And I realized after that show, that comedians are, as a practice, some of the most miserable people you're ever going to meet. Just miserable.
They suffer from depression.
Miserable people. And I came out of that, doing that show going, God, man, I wanted this to be fun. And these people are not fun. They are hurt or anger or bitter, pissy, moany. That's it. So we stopped the show. I couldn't do it anymore. All right. Next question. Mike Q wants to know, is Cox the Antichrist? Not as far as I know. No, a lot of people bitch about Cox. Here's the deal. I use them for my internet access here and for the office. They've been fine for me. They work great. You know, they charge too much like everybody does for business internet versus home internet.
We got the new fiber line at the office.
Is that Cox?
Very quick. Yeah.
Is that Cox?
Uh-huh.
No one likes a braggart.
No, it's good.
I know you're bragging.
We have any problems with it?
No, you're bragging because you have fast and I don't have fast.
Well, I had to get fast.
I know. You had problems with something.
Yeah.
Cox is like anybody. I mean, people are going to piss about Cox. They're going to piss about CenturyLink. They're going to piss about Time Warner. They're going to piss about.
And the only time you bitch about it is when it doesn't work. Well, you know what? Shit happens. Stuff goes down.
Overall, I mean, I've been doing arguably the most difficult online stuff you can do, which is live streaming video. Right. There's nobody doing more complicated ones and zeros than live streaming. You can't buffer that shit without having problems that everybody talks about and everybody bitches about. I've been doing it with Cox for quite some time, no problem. Now, beforehand, I used a company who went out called One Velocity that actually was a wireless roof-to-roof connection. It wasn't wired. Super fast. That worked out well, but it had to move when I moved my studio. I can't really complain about Cox. We've had one major fail, and that's because their palm tree caught on fire and it burned up the line above them.
Yeah, I remember that.
That's what are you going to do? Kzu asks, are the 51s worth going to see, and how far from downtown is it?
Sure. Absolutely. They're worth seeing, and they're not very far from downtown. They're just
love the 51s.
They're just about, 4 or 5 blocks from downtown. Just north of the 95, maybe a little farther, half a mile.
Yeah, they're probably about a mile. So here's the thing about the 51s. When we first discovered them, when we first moved here in 2005, it was as if the sun opened up and God touched me and said, I'm going to show you baseball like you've never seen before. What do you mean, God? You're going to see guys who are really good players, but there's still a shitload of hits and a shitload of runs and lots of good things going on. And oh, by the way, best ticket in the room, it's about $12.
Well, if you look at it this way. You're seeing tomorrow's stars today.
That's right.
So right now, the 51s are affiliated with the Mets.
Yeah.
The Mets went to the World Series last year.
Oh,
and their pitching staff, Jason DeGrom and Noah Syndergaard and Steven Matz, they were all in Las Vegas.
Really good point.
Throwing 100 miles an hour, and the moppy hair that Jason DeGrom has, and Noah Syndergaard looks like Thor.
I saw.
He's 6'5", 6", throws 100 miles an hour, and he's like an Adonis. And he's hanging out in Vegas.
That's interesting.
Travis Denard, who is their catcher. All these guys are in Vegas. And then when the superstars or a very good player gets hurt and might have to come down for a rehab assignment, they'll spend a week or so in Las Vegas. And
I've seen that before.
The Pacific Coast League's very good, AAA baseball. You're seeing... the future stars of tomorrow. Don Logan and Chuck Johnson. I know them. They're friends of mine.
Who are they?
Don's the president of the team. Chuck's the general manager. Great guys.
Why don't we go to a game?
We could go to a game. I've been to many a 51 game. Season starts later this week.
I love those games. Are they playing this weekend here?
I think they open at home this week. Later this week.
I'm alone. My wife has left me.
All right.
For a week and a half.
Well, just for the week and a half.
I should probably. That was a pregnant pause that was unnecessary. I apologize if that freaked anybody out.
You seemed a little excited about that.
No.
She left me. Yay.
No.
Take my wife, please.
We're Skyping.
Oh, isn't that
It's
sexy?
really fun.
Yeah.
She's never Skyped before. I was like, well, this is working pretty good. So
Honey, you got something right here.
51s, great stuff. As a matter of fact, I think it was last year or the year before, we saw a guy throw a 97-mile-an-hour fastball.
Sure.
I'm like, that's the fastest I've seen anybody throw here. These guys are great, and I forgot about the Mets connection. They used to be the Dodgers AAA team,
and before that,
then
the
for
Padres,
a while they were
like
the
Blue
Montreal.
Jays.
Yeah, and that was
Toronto.
It was kind of weird. Oh, Toronto.
Yeah,
but it's a great time. It's $12 for great rooms, great seats. You can go to $1 beer night on Thursdays. By the way, here's a tip: don't.
You have a million people there, and you're in line forever.
You got a bunch of fucking douchebags running around getting a $1 beer. The $1 beer is about that big. Yeah. You know what? Go get a big boy beer, spend $4, and feel like you're a man. like you've actually
Or
brought your family
$10,
or
whatever it
down.
costs,
But go. It's a really good time. Did they? MJJ wants to know, did they ever resume work on Resort World? You know what? I don't know. I used to drive by there all the time. They've started and stopped. They've got approval. They've waited for approval. I don't really know if they're building shit there or not right now. I keep talking about it, but I haven't seen anything new go up. They've cleaned things up. I think they might have done some work on the parking garage, but I haven't seen any new buildings go on. And this is one of those things where everybody thought, oh, yeah, it's back. The casino building is back on Las Vegas. Not seeing anything at there. Lucky Dragon, which is on the corner of Sahara and Las Vegas Boulevard. It was built, break, stop. Nothing's going on there. Yeah. The place across the street from Wynn, whose name just Aloni or whatever the hell it's called. I'm not seeing a lot going on there. I don't really know what's happening. Okay, last live chat question. Pops wants to know, has the performance circles on Fremont Street help with the over-busker problem? So the background on that is it used to be that buskers, and by the way, buskers are street performers, they could be anywhere they want, with some limitations. You had to be so far away from kiosks, so far away from the front of casinos, but otherwise you could be pretty much anywhere you want. And there was a shitload of them. It became a little out of control, as in a lot of out of control. So Fremont Street and the city all got together and said, and the buskers actually got, not the NAACP, who's the guy?
ACLU.
ACLU, whatever they are. They all got together and said, we got to control this a little bit. And so they created these performance circles that are about this big or so. And there's
that's all the bigger they are.
They're about that big. They're not very big.
No,
they're about this big. And there's I forget how many, 20, 13. There's not very many of them. Let's call it 23 just to have a number. Okay. And they're situated out, and you sign up for every day. And there's X number, and you get assigned every day. And then you're there for an hour, and then you rotate. So nobody gets a prime spot, because that's always been a busker issue, right? This is my spot. Hey, man, I've been playing fiddle. I've been playing The Devil Goes Down to Georgia here for 5 years, man. You stay off my fucking spot. That's not what happens anymore. Now you're there for...
By the way, I got a gun.
Right. And most of them do. And so for a while it was like, and we're gonna check your background, and that got washed away by a guy who kind of washed it away. Anyways, so here's the answer to your question. Yes, it is much better now. Much, much better. Not as many of them running around. They tend to be better buskers. Right. It doesn't mean that the guy in the diapers isn't still running around, or the gal who's in the pirate with the large boobs who are running around. Yeah, they're still there. But the overall quality, from what I've seen, I've been down there probably 2 or 3 times since it's happened, much, much better. What I like is they're not impeding on your walking,
right?
Which is a big deal for me. So I think that's an example of saying, how are we going to manage this? And they actually figured it out. So congratulations to the Fremont Street guys for doing that. You know what? Let's toast the buskers of Fremont Street. Yeah. Come on. All right, it's time for Have a Drink on Me. It's part of the show where we look at a bar, a pub, a speakeasy, a lounge that I have been to, and we show a picture of it. And if you guess the right answer and we pick your name, you can win some fabulous prizes.
Oh, we've got prizes.
Scott, you can't possibly be telling the truth. I'm not. But the voice you're about to hear only speaks the truth. You look at him, and I'll just show you real fast. That's about the voice you're about to...
Gotcha.
That was pretty goddamn funny right there. So the voice you're about to... We call him Sleepy. He never lies because it's against his wishes or stuff. Here's what you can possibly win.
As we open the prize vault, we got great prizes, including the fabulous Vegas Video Network Visor in Black. No longer on back order, or is it?
Oh, yeah, they just got in.
Hey, see, I even knew that.
We got a bunch of...
See, this is, again, Kreskin knew.
You did
that
know.
They just came... No,
they just came in. We've got, as a matter of fact, Danny, if you're still offering, she's going to be shipping out a couple of red ones. The red ones are already sold out, by the way. They're already gone.
Okay.
But they're going to be going out hopefully this week if Danny will do what she's asked me or told me she will do.
Plus, we have great music Original stuff from Scott Gajazathon and Chris McCoustic 1 and 2. And then, of course, you can always have a drink with Scott. He's got a little fat tire which kind of runs around his midsection. He is the Michelin Man.
I just
Pillsbury
stopped the band.
Oh, the band. The band is too busy laughing.
He's got a fat tire around the middle.
Midsection, I said.
Fucking piece of shit. Super. Oh, yeah.
We all do.
I'm Mr. Fun
It's
Guy.
called Middle-Aged Man.
I'm Mr. Fun Guy. Oh, yeah. Okay, hey, Brett. When you're not making fun of your co-host, where would you tell people to send
Are you a little sensitive? I didn't hurt your feelings.
I'm a flower. I'm a goddamn flower.
You should go to Emory College.
I don't know what that
Somebody wrote Trump 2016 in chalk. They've invaded my space.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
How about you just take a hose, kid?
Why don't we just do a whole political show where we just piss all over everybody?
Yeah, who won the Wisconsin primary? I don't know.
We'll find out.
Somebody tell me who won.
Let's say somebody actually wants to win one of these lovely prizes. Where do
they should send
an
an email to have a drink at vegasvideonetwork.com. Have a drink at vegasvideonetwork.com.
Very good. Thank you, Brett.
You're welcome.
All right. Oh, you're on fire. Oh. You're on fire. Okay.
Hey, last week's drink on me was an interesting one.
It was one of our more difficult ones. The last 2 weeks, we've had 28, 29 people. This one, we went down to 21 people, which is pretty interesting. By the way, there's other ways to win besides just sending in a correct answer and being selected. If you are the first person to send in a correct answer, we will double your entries. If you send us a photo or a video showing the Gajazathon CD or any of the Chris McCoustic CDs live in the wild. So, for example, let's say you're in Russia and you want to show it and you're not afraid of the Kremlin. Or maybe you're having sex, and as a result of that sex, you're having a baby. And you want that baby to be super smart. You'll play our music for that baby. You show pictures of that, not the sex part, by the way, just the baby music playing part. We're going to double your entries as well, both again, that's either pictures or video. Okay. 21 out of 21.
We need to see some people who won before.
You know what I forgot?
Yeah.
Boy.
Roll call.
Roll call for who? They are known as the Galaxy of Gods. There's Rob, who doesn't eat cows because he hates broccoli. There's Glenn and Jimmy Two G's. There's Scorsese, and there's a guy in Russia. It's Stuart. There's Binky and Bud. Binky's gonna kick BG's ass every time she sends an email. I think she's gonna get shot. Here we go. There's Greg, who's been to Vegas more than me. There's Mike and Scott. There's Shan, not Chad. There's Alan and his better half, Aaron. There's Pops, who's on medication, not drugs. There's Sammy. There's your favorite host. There's Jackie, and there's a woman who has babies because of Gajazathon. That's Christina. You're welcome. There's Brett's dad, who's embarrassed that he's hanging out with me. There is Don and a dog. There's Wayne and Mike. Oh! There's Danny, and there's Brett.
That's me.
That's me. Okay, man, that's a lot of work.
It is, but you do a good job.
I should record it.
And people like it.
No! It's live every time.
I said people like it.
Oh, I know. No, I said no, I should not record it.
I don't disagree with you.
Those gunshots are weak. That's so funny he writes that in the live chat, because my very first gunshots were much weaker than that, and I got that feedback. You know, your gunshots are kind of pussy gunshots. I'm like, I'm not having that. Now, that's not a weak gunshot.
That's not weak.
That's a... Hold on.
You're out of sequence.
That's a pretty badass gunshot, Mike. Of course, the guy makes his own bullets. So perhaps I should pump the brakes a little bit.
You might not want to mess with Mike.
Good call on that. I'm sorry. I apologize for my gunshot not being as strong as you think.
I got the strongest one I could find, Mike. I'm sorry, Mike.
My gunshot is as big as it can possibly be. Okay, here we go. Here's last week's Have a Drink on Me. The hints were, again, 21 of 21 got it right. 100%. That's right. Way to go, team. The hints were therapy, and therapy. This is downtown in the Fremont East District. I always wanted, when I was doing this one, I kept wanting to say, I need a remedy. which of course is not the name of the song or not the name of the bar. It's I Need Some Therapy. Okay, anyway. Okay,
I got to go pee.
I gotta take a pee. Here we go. Ready?
I'm ready.
All right, number one in. He took no time. He got it done. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Eric Hansen.
Right,
Way to go, Eric.
Eric gets 2.
Eric gets 2. But wait, does Eric get 3? He certainly does. 1 for the correct, 1 for the double for being first, and 1 for being in the live chat.
All right.
And then we've got Mr. Syracuse, New York. It's Glenn Santa. 1 for Glenn for the right, and 1 for being in the live chat. Way to go, Glenny.
Yep.
If you're in Chicago, you're thinking it's chilly because you are Chicago Snowman. It's Michael Snow, who is in the... He was in the live chat.
He was.
He actually told me, but he's not in anymore. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, that's too bad.
He left.
Oh, that's a goddamn shame. Sorry. Whoops. Next up, Erin Perry. She gets 1. Yeah, you see it by your foot over there?
I felt it.
Did you got that? Yeah. Thank you.
You know, my job description did not say that there would be calisthenics while doing the show.
What was that?
All
one?
right. Oh, I thought
That was a new one.
that was Gary Romberg.
Gary Romberg, Mr. Testy.
Okay. He's not in there.
He's not in there. I don't think.
Who was I supposed to? Was I supposed to be writing something down?
No,
Or something?
because Chicago Snowman was weird because he was in the live chat. He told me,
Yeah.
don't forget my thing, but he's left. And we can't. The rules are the rules.
Right.
We're not going to violate the rules. Yeah. All right, John Herman from New York City as well. Let's see. I don't see John in there. I'm sorry. Kevin Whip from Canada. We're an international play.
All right, we always.
Mad Chipmunk, known as Mike Lazowski. Mad Chipmunk is in the live chat.
Is?
Yeah, he sure is. 1 for, so it's Mike L. or Mad Chipmunk will do. 1 for the correct answer. 1 for being in the live chat. Way to go, Mikey. Steve from the UK, who told us a long story about why his last name is like the hint between balls and I forget what it was. It was really weird. And Babaloo is in the live chat, so he gets 1 for the correct answer, 1 for being in the live chat. Next up, we've got Andy from New Hampshire again. He said this one was a tough one, and he appreciated that we've tested his
Is he
skills.
live chatting?
He is not. I don't think he is. Well, let me check.
I don't think
no,
so.
I don't see him. Okay. Next up, we've got Jeff Sharp from Eugene, Oregon, who writes, this is what both Scott and Brett need. Therapy.
Yeah, good point.
Kind of argument.
Apparently, the numbers were down because the other people who normally would vote were in therapy.
Therapy, right. And they weren't allowed to get off the couch.
Right.
Rob C., also known as Robbo68 Pittsburgh. Rob is in the live chat. So he gets 1 for the right answer, 1 for being in the live chat. He writes, by the way, has there ever been a Haddam pub crawl? Here's an interesting thing. Not for me, but we've had listeners and viewers who have taken all of our Haddam and done a pub crawl.
Right.
So I know the Perrys, for example, wrote me mid-pub crawl and said...
Snowman is here.
Is he there? Is he
just-
back?
he's
Oh, he's
just
back.
chiming
All right.
He might have had to go potty.
I don't know why he dropped out. I'm here. That was weird. Okay.
We'll put you in there, buddy.
You're in there, buddy. Okay, so yes, there has been pub crawls by folks. We haven't arranged a pub crawl. That would be a pretty cool idea. I should reach out to all the bars and go, hey, we're going to do a pub crawl. We're going to bring 50 people in all these places. Let's go. That's kind of what you do with your food thing in a way, if you think about it. All right, boom. Next up, Craig Daughtry. Craig writes, I'm not the first, but I tell you what, it's the fastest I've ever put anything in. That's what she said.
Yeah.
Come
You're
on.
gonna leave that one? Going to touch that with a 10-foot pole, Craig?
That's pretty funny.
Leave
All right.
that one alone.
D, who is Stove Skowski thing. Hold on. Oh, Stone. Write down D, Stone Castle King.
Are they in the live chat?
No.
Okay.
I hope not.
I'm not writing
Oh,
that
don't write that down. What the hell? Here's what he writes. He goes, this is a therapy. Love the show, the weekly show. Been following for months. That's why I have I found you on YouTube and treated and watched every episode. I'm now a weekly loyalist. Was very happy to see Brett return after his treatment, looking really healthy.
Thank you.
You should see his penis. It's monstrous now. Keep up the awesome programming. Planning on moving to Sin City.
I'm back.
Look, I
had to go
didn't-
to Los Angeles yesterday to go see the doctor.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Did that go okay?
If we have time, I have to give them kudos to something later on.
Okay.
But I start the actual new therapy on Thursday in Los Angeles.
Wishing you well, sir.
Thank you.
Matt Easton. Matt writes,
Oh, Matt does right. Congratulations, Matt. And he's also very efficient. Haddam is therapy, although he spelled it wrong. Boys, I have a question. How far out are show calendars available? Wife and I are planning a trip on August of 2017, and I'm interested in shows. I would say usually you'll get the schedule, I would say probably the first of the year. They usually have it booked till the end of the year.
Which shows do you think
he's talking about? When
like
shows might be
Soleil?
taking a vacation and that kind of stuff. Yeah.
I would say it's about a year.
Yeah. I'd say look at it 6.
The real truth
6 to 8
is,
months
if it's a popular show, you'll get. It depends on how long you're going to be here. If you're going to be here more than 3.5 days, you'll be able to see what you want.
Yeah, you just want to make sure most of them take vacation time at the holidays, maybe a week in the summer, but usually they're gone a couple weeks in December.
Right. Next up, we've got Leslie R., who goes by Las Vegas in the live chat, and she's in the live chat. 1 for the correct answer, 1 for the live chat. Leslie has become our new poet. Leslie writes.
Oh, she does. Way to go, Leslie. Nice and big, too. I like the font.
That's right.
Here is this week's poetic entry for Have a Drink on Me. A little lame, I will agree. On Fremont Street in downtown Las Vegas, Therapy Restaurant and Bar looks like a great place for drinks that sound yummy and small plates to share. Can't say it's all good cause I ain't never been there. I added the ain't.
I was going to say, the rhyming wasn't
And I
as
screwed
good
up.
as
I screwed up the first one. I try. On Fremont Street in downtown Las Vegas, Therapy Restaurant and Bar looks like a great place. Nothing rhymes with Vegas. Place in Vegas
place?
doesn't really work.
Leslie.
Looking forward to exploring some of the bars on East Fremont. My next fabulous trip to Vegas in July. Okay.
Man.
We'll look forward to you there, Las
Can I
Vegas.
see this?
No, because she has Vegas and place.
Share there. Where drinks that sound yummy and small place to share, can't say it's all good because I've never been there. Did you say it like that?
Yeah.
Didn't feel like
The
you
second
did.
line is I butchered.
On Fremont Street in downtown Las Vegas, Therapy Restaurant and Bar looks like a great place. See?
That doesn't matter.
Well,
Yeah.
I made it work.
Keep working it as much as you want. It still
For
sounds
drinks that
just as
sound
bad as
yummy
when I
and
read
small
it.
place to share, can't say it's all good because I've never been there.
And I added the I ain't never been there.
Oh, you read it, man. Okay,
okay.
Continue on. Mike Q, 1 for the correct answer, 1 for the live chat. Even if he's not in the live chat, I'm giving in because he's watched more live chat than anybody else in the whole world. Mike writes, greetings, gentlemen. Hello, Scott and Brett. I'm guessing that this week's
Danny, stop your whining, you little baby.
What did she write?
If I had written it, they would have torn me a new one.
Oh, my God.
We don't know Leslie just yet. We know Danny.
We know Danny.
And we know you can take the heat.
Right. You can take the heat. The heat is on. I'm guessing that this week's Haddam is Therapy Restaurant and Bar. This was a good one, as it took me a while and some searching to figure it out. Again, please give me a push, as I just like to play, which what he's basically saying is he's like Jesus, meaning if he wins, he's like, I will not take your win. I will not take the victory. I will give it back for somebody else.
Not very nice.
That's very Jesus-like, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, absolutely.
Sure. He also does some pretty magical things with water.
He spritzes people.
I was thinking turning it into wine, but that's fine. All right, Alan Perry writes...
AP.
He writes, hi, Scott and Brett. The bar for this week is Haddam at Therapy Restaurant and Bar. I've had my eye on this place for a while since it's opened last summer. These new places on East Fremont and Carson Avenue are a great draw for downtown Las Vegas. It seems like a new addition is popping up every month or so. I've heard pretty good things about the food, but the drinks are supposed to be on the same level as Downtown Cocktail Bar. Can't wait to try out some therapy. Alan Perry from Prescott.
The Prescott.
Christina V. writes.
She does. This week's Haddam is Therapy. I'd like to know your opinion of the place. I was checking out the website and it looks really cool. Let us know about your experience.
Have you been there before?
I have not.
It's good. The cocktail vibe is very good. It's so there are a handful of really good cocktail bars. There's a website that just put out a list of the top 10 cocktail bars, and I'm not sure if Therapy was on it. It should be. If it's not, it's definitely Downtown Cocktail Bar. It definitely has some of the as good drinks as Urban Rye. Urban Rye is the #1 cocktail bar in all of Las Vegas. It's meant for serious drinker, mixologist kind of stuff. Great idea, the great vibe with the whole different eras, which is what they do at Urban Rye. Therapy, they don't have it's not as extensive a drink menu, but the drinks they have there are muy bueno, mi amigo.
What about price?
Food there, it's.
What's the price of a cocktail?
I'm trying to think of. Don't hold me.
So
to
when you
this.
go for one of these
Probably
cocktails,
11,
what kind
12 bucks, I don't
what
know.
kind of a cocktail you getting?
Well, so what I'll do, I mean, normally my go-to cocktail is either is usually just a Crown and Diet, or a Tanqueray and tonic. It's usually one of those two, unless they have a cocktail menu, and then I'll look at that and see what they do. So I tend to like sour drinks.
Okay.
As a practice, which is why I like a Crown and Diet, which is the least sour drink in the whole
yeah.
wide world. So I tend to go through that, and usually they either are very, very good or very, very bad. Like, for instance, the Velveteen Rabbit, which Glenn and I went to, had the first drink I had was not great, but the next couple of drinks I had were really good. So you just kind of have to sniff around. They have Therapy has a good cocktail restaurant, or a bar, I should say, or menu, excuse me, and you can't really go wrong there. And here's the other thing: what makes a great bar are the bartenders. Are they there to help? Are they not being pricks? Are they paying attention? Are they providing guidance? Do they know what they're talking about? That's what you look for. So again, you go to Urban Rye, you get that vibe. You go to Therapy, you get that vibe. The Downtown Cocktail Bar has that vibe. Now, that's not one of my favorite places. It's a little bit too hip and groovy for me. But I like the vibe of Therapy a lot. So I think it's going to, I'm sure it's doing very well. I expect it would do so. Finally, Monica Fagan, not finally, but Monica Fagan, Binky, biggity. She writes, now, let's go ahead and read that.
These are all very short. All in the subject line.
Yeah.
Therapy Restaurant East. BG, last week you were smack talking Mike Q. Then you said I shouldn't be messing with Mike. I should mess with someone like Binky. But we love you, I guess you with an extra R there. Okay, so I was talking smack to Mike Q?
Yeah, because of guns.
Okay.
And basically what Binky is saying is, don't fuck with her.
All right, and I did.
She's a bad man. Shut your mouth.
Well, I can't be afraid of anybody named Binky. That's all I'm saying, Bink.
But now you're calling her Bink.
Well, sure. It's funny. Here's why. Ironically,
by the way,
there's the Binkster.
Look at her.
I have a very good friend of mine who married a girl. Her last name was
Bink.
It was
Binkopolis.
Whatever, but we called her Bink.
Bink.
It was like Binker was her last name.
Binker.
Yeah, it wasn't spelled that way, but we called her the Bink. So now when I see Binky, I think of Bink.
And why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Okay, and then
both attractive.
Of course, we've got video. Now, what's lovely about this, we were told that we might not get a video from Bob. Bob mentioned that in the live chat last week. It's like, hey guys, I'm probably not going to be able to do a video this week. Yeah. So I appreciate the warning, Bob. I'm sad. You should right now. Brett is crying tears of
not joy,
sadness.
Absolutely.
But thankfully, Bob did contribute because he's not on drugs.
Oh,
he's on medication.
Okay, so he did.
Hey kids.
That's
question
Pops.
was
That's
raised a couple of weeks ago. Why is there a CVS or a Walgreens on every corner up and down the strip? I think I've hit on the answer. Check this out. This is a copy of the mini bar menu from the Cosmo. My God, look at the prices. That's not pesos. That's not dinars. That's U.S. American dollars. Are they out of their minds? The guy from the Midwest is like, don't touch anything, Midge. It's rigged. It'll charge us if you breathe on it hard.
It's true.
He goes outside and he's like, oh, thank God there's a Walgreens. I'm going to go get some M&Ms and some cookies and stuff. Take a close look. Looks like the only thing they got the price right on was these nuts.
Priceless.
Got him.
Had him. That's the Pops for
Pops gets one for his correct answer. Pop gets another one for being in the live chat. And Pop gets a third for that video masterpiece. Sadly, Bob could... Oh.
Did he make one or
Bob did make one. God bless Bob. I don't know what he's doing. He's probably fighting, a war somewhere. Which one was that you just did there?
That was Pops.
Okay. Here's one for Bob for the correct answer. Here's one for Bob for being in the live chat.
He is in the live chat?
Oh, yeah, he's in the live chat.
Where is he? What's he call himself?
Hey, I don't think we got Craig Daughtry. Did you put a double in for Craig? He's in the live chat.
Oh, I didn't know he was live chatting.
Yeah, I didn't see him in there.
Okay.
And Bob gets one more for this.
Hey guys, this week's bar is Therapy, located downtown Las Vegas. Its decor is the industrial look, with a long bar and open seating layout.
Yep.
Open kitchen view with a vaulted ceiling
I'm going to say, by the way, it's a little darker than all these pictures in the actual restaurant, which I prefer.
And 2-level seating. Hey, there's Pops hanging out with his buddy from Florida.
So now we're bringing in other people. God bless Bob.
They have a great menu.
Yeah, a little
The
prosciutto.
perfect cure. Scottish salmon topped with fine herb pesto. Chicken meatballs. Chicken red velvet waffle sliders. Crispy fried pig ears.
Ooh,
By the way, those are real pig ears.
yeah.
It's not just a name.
My dog.
Those are actually the ears of pigs.
Yeah, it's a dog treat primarily.
Wait, I'm not a dog, though.
I know.
And they're
That's
feeding
why I'm
them
kind of interested.
to humans.
Oxtail empanadas. Fire roasted corn.
Mm-mm.
The big sexy burger and fries.
That's what they call me.
French dip sandwich.
They call me the French
And
dip.
look at these desserts to die for.
Time new show.
They have quite a few exotic cocktails also.
Yes, they do.
If we know of anyone who's more in need of therapy, it's these two guys.
No, I'm not sure how to take that.
What am I? I couldn't cross my legs and get back
I
up.
was going to say, you
Ever.
look pretty good in your
I look
red
pretty
thing and
sexy.
your
I
red
got my pajamas
high
on
tops.
with my red Converse.
It looks like I'm
My
trying
Chuck
to-
Taylors.
Why am I trying to strangle myself?
Well,
What's going on with that?
Yeah.
I don't like that. Come on.
You guys have a good one, and we'll see you next week.
Can I have a good one if I'm strangling myself? Thank
Good
you.
stuff,
very much,
Roberto.
Bud. Attaboy, brother. All right, let's do it.
Good stuff.
Gotta get going.
Funny,
here.
funny, funny.
What was your thing? 90 minutes?
Yeah, we're gonna be right at it. We're pretty
Real
close.
Here we go.
Well, you got to do your
I
next
know.
week's
I know.
Adam, and it's
I
gonna be
know.
this one right here. Oh, it's one of yours.
What is it?
It's Eric Henson.
Eric Hansen!
Airport Limbo.
Airport Limbo. Way to go, Eric. All right, Eric, you win.
Eric says,
Hey.
"Woo!"
Woo! So you win yourself a visor or a drink on me or one of our great CDs. Okay, here is this week's Have a Drink on Me.
That guy on the right doesn't look too happy.
So many.
The blue shirt. What's he
You know,
doing?
There's a lot of tourists who come here who aren't happy.
Then why would they? They're watching the basketball game. He's
Yeah,
got a
that's what
bet
I
on
said.
the wrong team. That's why.
Okay, here's our first hint. Hint number 1 for this week's Have a Drink on Me. Apparently, this place has an inexhaustible source of quality, aroma, and flavor.
Okay. In Spanish.
Oh, that was a good hint.
Espanol.
Apparently, this place has an inexhaustible source of quality, aroma, and flavor. Hint number 2. Unless you like Cuba, then not so much.
Okay.
Unless you like Cuba stuff, then not so much. And hint number 3, spending time at the forum shops is much less painful for us menfolk as a result of this place. And spending time at the forum shops, much less painful as a result of this here place. If you have the right answer, you're going to send it to have a drink at vegasvideonetwork.com. Again, have a drink at vegasvideonetwork.com.
Oh, we got it under.
There you go. Thank you, everybody, for playing along. Again, if you want to send us an email and have your questions answered, you're going to send it to onairq@livinginlv.com. Again, onairq@livinginlv.com. Hey, you can leave us a voicemail, which is like magic, really. And here's how you do it. You go to our website. If you look at the right-hand side, you'll see a little tab that says, surprisingly enough, leave a voicemail. And if you click on that, boop, you're going to see a little window that pops up that allows you to start recording right from your computer. So you can leave us a voicemail, and your voice, your dulcet tones will end up on our show. By the way, we're on all kinds of places. Go to iTunes. We have both video and audio there. Leave us a 5-star review. You can see us on the YouTube. Give us a thumbs up. Share us with your friends all over the place. Plus, besides iTunes and YouTube, you can find us on Roku, Stitcher, TuneIn, Chromecast, Apple, Google, and Fire TV. We're also on Google Play and, of course, the VegasVideoNetwork.com website. Thank you very much for playing along, everybody. Thank you for the live chat. You guys were awesome sauce. Thank you, Brett.
Thank you, Scotty.
Thank you for thanking me. Thank you, everybody out there. We'll guys see you next week on the Vegas Video Network.
Have a great week, everybody. Enjoy the Masters. 'Cause I know I will.
Do you watch that at home or do you go somewhere?
Oh, I want to.